Alright. Wanna... Well, I honestly wasn't sure where to go with this one. Part of me considered not doing one at all. Part of me considered keeping it super short, but I thought about it. I do want to talk about something that I've been rattling around in my mind for a long while now. It's May 31st. But first, the update, the monthly roundup update. Not much to say. I've been highly addicted to Narodnaya Solyanka Cumulative Pack 2 for Shadow of Chernobyl. I've also been trying out, though I have only just scratched the surface of it, an add-on for it called the Infiltrator DLC. It doesn't do a shit ton compared to what's already in the game, but it does utilize some of those areas that were I'd have to actually be in the game to show you, but and I'm pretty sure I said this before, but basically the OP2 has had 3 versions: 2.09, 2.1, 2.2. They were most definitely going to continue work on the game past 2.2. They, as early as 2.1 years ago, they added a... Hold on. I hate it when I feel like I have to... There we go. Hate it when I have to sneeze, but I can't. As early as 2.1 years ago, they added a ton of maps and added a little Easter egg because those maps weren't properly ready. They were populated, they were implemented, but they weren't ready for future content. And added a little Easter egg where after completing a late game quest, you got teleports for the handheld teleporter to all of these maps, so you could go explore them. Get a little sneak peek. They removed that in 2.2 because I guess because they were preparing to use them, and they did in fact put the Valley of Whispers, I believe, to use in 2.2, which was one of the unused maps in 2.1. Many of these maps are of course properly nav meshed and populated with enemies or allies, even merchants. So two groups have cropped up. One group, led by, unless it's him doing it all himself, I think, led by an individual going by Anarchist, who made the Infiltrator DLC, which is at the moment finished. Adds a handful of weapons, implements some of the new territories. The way it goes is these are all fully implemented. The one caveat to this is there are no transitions to these locations. So, or rather, the transitions exist, but the activators aren't there. So, the creator of the Infiltrator DLC basically just simply set the activation triggers to enable the transitions. So, one I'm aware of already that I haven't gotten to yet. I haven't gotten to any of the new maps yet that that Infiltrator makes use of. But one I'm aware of, at least, is eventually there's a transition from the construction site to the industrial zone. Point is, I've been scratching the surface of that and looking forward to really getting into the meat and potatoes of that one in the near future. I've also played a shit ton of OP2 without recording it. I tried to do a little mid-month update, and then I just scrapped the footage talking about this kind of shit. There's a few reasons why I haven't continued it. At least 3 or 4. There's 3 main ones off the top of my head that I thought about, ahead of time. One of the big reasons is one of the 2 biggest reasons of them are one, hard drive space. I still need to reorganize stuff on the media drive. I actually forgot that I just copied the whole music collection over. I actually need to make sure that's still backed up to the external, delete a lot of it, because some of it's stuff that some of it's like dozens or over 100 gigs of stuff I'm not going to listen to on the regular. But, sorry. Hard drive space is always a fucking thing I care about. And it was getting to the point where I had like 150 gigs of raw footage, which leads to the second part. I would have to stop myself from playing this mod as much, and I've been really enjoying playing it. I would even dare say to the point of addiction. I'm not going to lie about that or hold back on that one, but I just started accumulating so much footage I didn't know what to do with it. And the second thing is my computer. I have, in my time on this earth, gone through many computers. I've seen many computers come and go, live out their lifespan, and finally give out and die. I don't want to accept this computer costed me a decent amount of money to build. It would take a lot of time for me to get that money together again to do it again. If this computer died on me, this is my baby. I would rather not accelerate that process. I don't mind recording more short form, like shorter games, or doing these like once a month. This doesn't take anything to fucking render. But I would rather not accelerate the death of my precious baby by nonstop rendering dozens upon dozens of videos. The third reason is just my life in general. And I don't mean this in any particularly negative way, I am constantly beholden to my family. I need to constantly assist them with stuff. And it's the same reason I gave for like why I have a problem with the concept of becoming a streamer. I would not be able to do uninterrupted streams unless my family isn't home or asleep. So I ended up having to like pause recordings or stop recording over and over and over again every time I have to get up and go handle shit with my family. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm pretty sure it was a fourth reason. I can't quite remember it, but yeah. So that also got me thinking. Speak of the devil, and she will come. I am getting a call right now. Anyway. So yeah, and it kind of sucks because I've been thinking lately, you know, as much as I love the idea of just doing what I do, what I've been doing on and off as a hobby for over a decade now, I'm wondering if streaming would be a good idea. And I talked about this before. I talked about this before in a previous Roundup rant, but it's fucking crazy to me because I've always had my reservations about streaming. I actually talked with some friends about this last night, and I kind of already knew what they were going to tell me. Like I knew what they were telling me, or what they told me already, but actually getting some confirmation felt good, I guess. I was telling them about something I ranted about in a previous month's Roundup rant. I had a friend who wanted to break into streaming. Now, unlike I who wanted to do it as a hobby, this guy, he wanted to, and sorry for the repeat, but he actually wanted to make money off of it. He literally told me, I want to entertain people for a living. I want to make streaming video games my income. I am pretty sure he's gotten sponsorships. I'm pretty sure he's occasionally gotten a donation, but last I knew, at least, he was not successful. He started. You can apparently simulcast now on YouTube and Twitch, and a friend of mine that streams does do that, but another call. Anyway, but yeah, and there was a lot of personal drama involved in this that I'm not going to get into. But at the end of the day, the way it went down in the end was I tried to talk to my old friend in a voice call to try to make sure we understand each other, try to get him to understand my side of things, and in the end, he yells at me over the voice call, how do you think you make me look? How do you think you reflect on me? And again, it's not like I'm hanging on to that on purpose, but legit, that is the only time anybody's ever said that shit to me, so you kind of don't forget about it, that kind of shit completely. It opened my eyes, made me realize he really just gave a shit about his image as a streamer. He didn't really care about friendship because he saw me as someone who didn't mesh well with him and someone who potentially made him look bad. I had to be kicked to the curb. Fucked up thing is, last I knew, again, outside of occasional sponsorships, he never really made it. I'm sure he's successful. I'm sure whatever job he's working right now is a successful one. He was a very smart guy. He was, not to get into things too personally, but he was a very smart guy, way smarter than me, despite being quite a bit younger. I'm sure he's being very successful, whatever he's doing. But it's the fact that he was so obsessed with becoming a professional streamer, like making that a career, that it affected his judgment. I never want to get like that. But what fucked me up, though, sort of, so to speak, was the fact that he ultimately chose in the beginning to start with Twitch. And I was actually talking with friends yesterday about this topic, and I had multiple people telling me, no, dude, that's where he fucked up. You never put your eggs in that basket. You never start with Twitch if you're trying to become a professional streamer. Me personally, I just don't like the platform. You know what's crazy to me? I actually, in a way, I actually kind of felt refreshed. I've talked about certain people before that I watched lately, like Rev Says Des or Smuggalana. Well, with Smuggalana, I was actually quite pleased to find out there's still people out there. There's still people streaming that they say retard casually. They got no problem with it. It's just a word. Like, there are. My point is, on Twitch, my problem with Twitch is largely about just the way they run shit. I don't like that platform on principle for a lot of reasons, and it's a place where I feel like if I streamed the way I want to stream, and I'm not saying, I want to throw on racial slurs 24/7. No, fuck no. But it's like, if you're even a little bit carefree when you're streaming on Twitch, it's like there's a chance you're in the crossfire from what I've seen over the years. So I'm good. But I was talking with some friends yesterday. I was thinking maybe I should do YouTube streaming as a hobby. Who the fuck knows? And then I can save shit as VODs instead of having to directly on the website, instead of having to render shit on my fucking computer. I don't think it would be too heavy on the old girl here. So yeah. Anyway, that's. Other than that, I've been slacking a bit on my personal hobby of data hoarding. There's stuff I need to catch up on, and I think I'm going to spend a lot of June catching up on some stuff. It's been a couple of reasons. One's been my sheer addiction to OP2, but also, Well, this part is mostly when I'm not at my computer, so I don't know if this counts. But I've been suffering another addiction lately. I watched The Amazing Digital Circus with friends. We went in thinking it was probably going to be a slop fest. And I've seen a lot of slop with friends. There is there's nothing wrong about watching something bad. And for some of my friends and I will watch bad stuff frequently and poke so much fun at it. And it's a genuinely good time because of this. But what was I even saying? Man, my short-term memory is so fucking shot. So, right. I had to actually stop recording for a bit to try and jog my own memory. So, we thought it was gonna be Slotfest. We went in, we watched Amazing Digital Circus. It was genuinely great. And then I saw that one of my favorite VTubers, Alicia. I hate that I always feel the need, but a little side thing. I hate that I always feel the need to say that. Whenever I say Alicia, I can't decide if I want to say just Alicia or Alicia X Live, or because then I default to Alicia X Live, aka Alicia X Def, and it's like just say one name. So Alicia, one of my favorite VTubers, Alicia reacted to it, and that was great. Then I saw, what was it, Chelser the Destroyer reacting to it, and that was great. I think she reacted to it. Smugalana didn't. But then some others did that I saw. There were some that I didn't like reacting to it. Well, mainly one, it was, I don't even remember who they were, but it was a pair of VTubers that came up in my feed on my phone, and, one, they lowered the audio to almost impossible to hear levels for the show itself. Two, they kept pausing and yapping to an unbelievable degree. I don't mind a little bit of pausing and yapping, but it was like turning a half an hour long episode of an animation to like an hour or more, and it was. I think that was like the unabridged like live stream version, like VOD version. I don't know. I ended up not continuing that one, but I must have seen at least about 15 different VTubers reactions to episodes 1 through 8 of Digital Circus, or listened to them rather, as I would on my phone when I'm away from the computer. And there was like a couple of times I would sit at my desk watching it. But it's mostly when I'm away from the computer, I need stuff to listen to. I put on VODs, I put on music, I put on audiobooks. I've said this time and time again. I just keep repeating myself on that one. But I think I burned myself out a bit on that. I still occasionally be like, oh, this one looks good. Let's see what their reaction to it is. But I think after seeing about 15 different people's reactions to Digital Circus, I think I'm good. My best friend has declared that I am pretty fucking weird for that, and I don't disagree with him. That's probably the most I've ever been hooked on watching reactions to stuff ever. I've kind of broken off of that now, focusing more on just I'll put some of Alicia's anime reactions on in the background to listen to. But yeah, it's mostly been like being addicted to OP2 in my free time. And I've been spending more time with friends. I've actually been... crazy thing is I've actually been told by my family I have more of a social life than they do, because I got at least a couple of friend groups that I hang out with on the regular online. But that kind of brings me to this month's Roundup rant. I've been thinking about this one. Thinking about what I want this one to be. There's one I want to do, but I'm still not ready. I still have some reading to do. But this month's roundup rant is online communities, and it's going to be a bit of a long one because I want to express some stuff. So let's get started. So now for the roundup rant. Online communities. I tried to do this before a couple of times, but I think I have a bit more to speak on now. I'll go ahead and give just the briefest summary I can. All right. When I was a kid, raised by my grandma, had shitty AOL dial-up, but it's how I discovered the internet. BBS forums and all that. I would use different handles. It was almost like a roleplay or a LARP kind of, because I was still a shithead kid. I thought it was fun. I would use different handles everywhere I went, adapt different ways of typing. It was just something I did. Thought it was fun. But I liked interacting with people. It was new. Through these BBS forums. It was new. Found a lot of them, but there was one particular one I really liked. Now, admittedly, I didn't mesh well with it. I didn't mesh well with it for the most part, and there were some members of the community that genuinely did not like my presence in the community. But I came to, and I was a shithead kid. A shithead kid who grew a bit older while being a part of this community into a shit teenager, but I came to love the culture of this community. If I had to say what the rules were, it would be 3 cardinal unspoken rules for the most part. 1, seniority rules. That's a given in any community. The longer you've been in the community, the more pull and say you have. 2, make an intro thread. If you didn't, people would ridicule the shit out of you, shit on you, mock you. The idea was you make an intro thread in the intro thread, the introduction subforum area, and tell everyone a little bit about yourself. No one really gave a shit if you put actual real info, and they would prefer you didn't, but hey, you're free to do whatever you want. What people really were after were what hobbies you were in, because that's what this was. It wasn't strictly an anime forum or a game forum. It was about a little bit of everything. It was a hobbyist forum, you know. What are your hobbies? What are you into? What games do you like? What animes do you like? What movies do you like? What TV shows do you like? Do you like wrestling? Do you like, what other hobbies do you have? Shit like that. Sorry, I'm getting over, I don't even know what the fuck's going on. Maybe some kind of allergy season thing. Anyway. 3. Anything goes. Within reason, obviously. Like, for example, you could post stuff about pirated, links to pirated content. But the obvious shit, and I don't really think I need to say what it is, the real obvious shit, no go. Which is understandable. Who the fuck wants that kind of stuff anywhere on the internet? Point is, you could say what you wanted, you could post what you wanted. The one check and balance in all of this was, and I learned this the hard way a lot, if you act like a damn fool, the community will openly mock you. Everyone's fair game, and no one is safe, and nothing is sacred. You are allowed, it's the internet, you are allowed to shit on someone, but they're allowed to shit on you. And it's a matter of can both of you take it? Can both of you take it as well as you dish it out? That is the essence of this community. That was the essence of this community. And I loved it. Then someone came along that didn't like that. Kind of ruined things a bit. A little bit. Not too much. What I would say actually killed this community. The community was already a ghost town. And I think he had a hand in it, yeah. But also the fact that it was just a niche, obscure community was the biggest reason, in my opinion. But what really gave this forum its death nail in the coffin was a move to live chat. A bunch of us got together and decided, hey, maybe a bunch of the others, I was just along for the ride, came together and said, hey, maybe we should make a live chat. So we did on MSN. Unfortunately, the guy who was basically the antithesis of the forum's culture itself ended up in charge of the group. And like I said earlier, seniority rules. Well, he was one of the, in terms of seniority, he was one of the youngest members on the forum. One of the newest members out of all the regulars. And suddenly he was in charge. He basically got rid of what the culture was pretty much overnight. Suddenly, people he wanted to protect were protected from being shit-talked, and people he didn't like, well, like myself, I'm not going to get into it because it's too annoying to explain, but he was overly sensitive, despite the fact that, from what I knew of the guy, he was a dude who was like a decade older than me, worked a full-time job, and helped out his family a lot. Despite this, he had a massive case of ego on the internet. And now that he was in charge of our little community, he made damn sure, well, everyone knew it. Everyone in our small little group knew it. Because he didn't like me, he would shit on me every day, unabashed. And we're not talking like... I feel like I need to explain this. The kind of shit talking I'm talking about on the forum and in this forum's culture is like... We'd be the kind of people who would hurl racial slurs at each other as casual as it was a greeting. And then we'd talk about our hobbies, you know? There was no serious hatred. There was no serious racism or anything. But this guy comes along, suddenly, and now he's in charge of our live chat group, now that we've moved from the forum to it, and no one's using the forum anymore. Suddenly, I can't even have a normal conversation. I try to have a conversation with this guy, and he has to turn it into some means he can use to insult me. Daily. So I'm like, dude, can you just knock it off for a bit? And he's like, Lamau, no. It's just how it is. Well, no one really liked it. No one in the community liked him being in charge. So, of course, especially since he was talking down to everyone, including the old moderators who were around since pretty much the beginning of the community's existence, and I want to say probably somewhere around the mid to late 90s when the community was first created, when the forum was first created. Sorry. Yeah, everyone, no one liked him being in charge. So the two old moderators from the forum went around privately talking to everyone about it, and they ended up making a new group under a new MSN group ran by the two of them. And I remember this clearly enough because it's the only time I've ever seen someone up close and personal on the internet say these words. But this dude starts basically shitting himself all over the place, just bitching and pissing and crying and going. And I still remember the words he typed. He said, "You're usurping me." And I'm just like, dude, get over it. Everyone else jumped ship to the new group, but I stuck around for a bit. I tried to get him to understand my side of things, our side of things, and try to understand his side. Maybe there's something there that's actually worth listening to. No, there wasn't. He just wanted he just wanted control over our little group. So, yeah. He even made a separate group just for the people he wanted to invite after the fact and refused to join the new one because he couldn't be in charge. And, well, the story doesn't end there. MSN gets shut down eventually and moved to Skype. He comes back. He's still in, he does join that group. He's still insufferable. The weirdest thing, and I do want to shoehorn this in a bit. Okay, the weirdest thing about him was he was pro corporate, like to such a worrying degree. Like back in the day, I would pirate the shit out of video games more than I ever do now. And I would talk about it, and every time he'd be like, "You could just buy it. I don't care if you have to save up for 5-6 months for one video game. It's the right thing to do. You're taking money away from the corporations." And he was a huge corpo dick sucker back then. And then about 15 years later, maybe I find him again because somebody recreated our entire group on Discord, and he is like the worst opposite extreme. Fuck the corpos, they can all burn and all that shit, but also shit like, man, if only that guy that tried to kill Donald Trump aimed 5 inches to the right, shit like that. He was not he did not grow older to be a good person. In fact, he ended up quite fucking... In fact, this is going to be a big talking point in this Roundup rant. He ended up quite fucking radicalized. Back then, the time I'm talking about mainly, he was probably in his 20s. Now he's easily probably about into his 40s, and he is, by now, late 30s, maybe about 40, pushing the 40s, and he has become so fucking radicalized. He is so far left, I don't even know what I'm looking at. I don't even know if I'm looking at a civilized human being anymore. The kind of person who genuinely, and we even had this conversation where he tried to convince me about it, genuinely thought that there was this big project, Project 2025, happening where Donald Trump would try to instate himself as the leader of the U.S. forever, like Putin did with Russia, and how we're all fucked and doomed, and he bought into all of this propaganda, and he was just so far gone. It was insane. To the point that I'm still in contact with one of the old moderators on a regular basis. We're still friends. He DMs me saying, "Dude, don't even bother interacting with him. Okay, just leave it be." This guy was just way too far gone. Anyway, but it doesn't end there. We moved to Skype, and there's a chick. Well, there were multiple chicks in the group, multiple women, but there's one chick. You know what? I'm saying this as respectful. Fuck that. No, she was a bitch. She was a bitch. Had to control the conversation. Everything had to always be about her. I had this back then. I had this friend from Hungary, I think, and we were both little gremlins. We liked the hentai. We liked, hentai visual novels and stuff like that, including the schlock ones. There's like a Japanese term for it, nukige. Basically the Japanese version of the plumber, the pizza guy's here, and the chick's gonna fuck him. The plot is an excuse for the porn and all that. We would talk about these kinds of visual novel entries. And then this chick would just pipe in like, "Ew, fucking take that to DMs. I want to fucking read that shit in our group chat." And it's like, by a certain point, I just started going like, "Are you in charge? Are you the one in charge here? Fuck no. Then fuck off." And she would, of course, throw a huge bitch fit every time. "Oh, I'll come back when he's gone or when he's dead," and leave the group. And then a couple weeks later, she'd be back, and the whole cycle would repeat itself. And it got so tiring. She even acknowledged she was a bitch, and she literally said she was proud that she was a bitch. And it's like... And she would take every opportunity to do the same thing the guy did I was talking about. Like, I couldn't even hold a normal conversation with her about I'd be watching a TV show and talk about it in the group, and she would find some way to turn that into a way to insult me. And it's like, it was just the repeat of the shit with the guy, where I can't even have a normal conversation. This is beyond just shit posting each other. You genuinely have this weird fucking, like, disdain for me when we barely talk to each other. It got to the point where I was not having fun. I wasn't enjoying it. So I left. I don't think I left the group. I think I just straight up uninstalled Skype, because that's the only reason I had Skype installed. And there was like a 2 or 3 year period where I only talked to a couple of close friends through Steam chat. Then installed Discord for very mundane reasons. Joined a guild in a gacha game, and they communicated through Discord. And I went from there. Joined a friend of a friend's Discord. Then that friend, one of the same friends I was keeping in contact with through Steam chat, on and off, and I believe, and now I consider that guy my closest friend. He's a pain in the ass sometimes, but I'm a pain in the ass sometimes, and there's like a saying I have, you never know if you're truly friends with someone until you've had at least one good fight with them. Oh, I've had several with this guy, so I know he's a true friend. Anyway, I started joining more communities, and started noticing stuff. See, there's a big gap. I was mostly in this live chat group for a good few years. Didn't really go back to using internet forums. So there's a bit of a gap. Suddenly all online community, it felt suddenly to me at least, suddenly all online communities were on Discord, and slowly migrating to Discord, at least back when I joined in 2016, and can't say shit, can't really speak my mind. Here's an example. A bit of lingo. My brother and I, and yes, I am from the South, you can probably figure that out by now. A bit of lingo my brother and I always had since we were young is, if we thought something was particularly stupid, or if we thought something was, like, unfair, we would be like, that's retarded, or that's gay. Like, somebody says something really stupid, we'll say that's retarded, or somebody tells us something unfair happened to them, right? And my brother and I, we just go, man, that's fucking gay, dude. Sorry that happened to you. That's just the way we talked. It's just our lingo, and it's something that we've had since we were young. And I remember, and another thing I have is when I get something wrong, when I misunderstand something, or I have my information incorrect, I'm not educated enough on something and say the wrong thing, whatever the case may be. If I'm wrong about something, I'll just brush off. Like, never mind, don't mind me, I'm just being retarded. That's what I'll do. So I joined a community server for a gacha game, and for the gacha game I joined the guild for, and I say this. I get something wrong, and like, oh wait, no, I got the info wrong, like, I don't even know what it was, probably something related to the game. And like, don't never mind me, I'm just being retarded. Immediately get pinged by a moderator, saying, dude, don't say that shit, that's ableist. I'm like, okay, I'll try not to. Keep talking in the chat, and about 10 or so minutes later, I end up saying it again. I got that information wrong, never mind, I'm just being retarded. Moderator pings me and, dude, I told you not to say that shit. Stop being ableist. I'm just like, okay. I don't post in that server again. Like, hardly ever. If I do, it's strictly about the game. And I say nothing else. And this was the start. This was the start of a trend I developed myself, where I don't think trend's the right word. Maybe a defense mechanism where if I join a community and the moment I get any major pushback because of the way I type, because of the way I talk in chat, I backpedal and just move away. If I don't leave the group, the Discord server, I just lurk. Or if I do talk, I strictly only talk about the topic. A more recent example, actually, is I'm in a server for a video game I really like. And it does not have voice acting. And someone confirmed that a specific character has a Chinese accent during conversation recently. Somewhat recently, like a couple months ago. I make a joke about it. I make a joke about their accent, a one-word joke. And there's all kinds of custom emotes in this server, including I think at least one of somebody vomiting. I don't remember. A lot of the kind of but the kind of emotes there, like a horrified face or a cringe face, something like that. I start getting a flood of these reactions to the post. And that's how I immediately know, okay, I stepped over the line, and there's the line. Should not have stepped over that. Too many people have a problem with me making a fucking accent joke, of all things. Because I guess I'm racist, and it's too racist. So I deleted him, like, you know what, fine, sorry, I won't do that, it won't happen again. And then someone goes, and then it happens again, and I'm just thinking, are you fucking fishing for my attention? Come on. And ever since, I've only strictly talked about the video game. No jokes, no casual conversation. I just talk about the video game and stuff related to the video game. That's it. I developed this way back then, though, with that one gacha server I just mentioned. I started, if I got too much pushback, I would just not say anything. I would just go fucking radio silent. Fuck it. Because that kind of thing tells me that I, in the way I am clearly not wanted there. And the way I am isn't some fucking neo-Nazi or some extreme fucking racist. No, it's just a dude who's a bit free in his speech, who occasionally cracks jokes that may or may not be appropriate to some people. Boo fucking who. It's insane. I joined a Fallout server once and got in a few nice conversations, and one of them I was talking about Caesar's Legion. And I remember still, at one point I referred to them as a bunch of Neanderthal spear chuckers. Immediately get a dude pinging me, bitching me out, saying, dude, that's fucking racist. And I'm sitting here, you can choose not to believe me if you want, my dear listener. Okay? That was a weird thing to say, but I don't know how I'm over dramatic much. But you can choose to believe me or not. But I'm sitting here staring at my computer for about a full minute thinking, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? I'm trying to figure this out. And do you know why? Because when I refer to them as Neanderthal spear chuckers, here's what I'm thinking. It's a literal fucking lore reason. Caesar of Caesar's Legion is a former member of the Followers of the Apocalypse, an entire faction of learned men and women, of teachers and scientists and doctors who try to bring civilization back and knowledge back to the post-apocalyptic wasteland. A setting where you have literal cavemen, basically, emerging from underground vaults that survived the nuclear war and the fallout, no pun intended, the nuclear fallout as a result. And now they've formed these very, very low IQ primitive tribes. And the followers of the apocalypse are people trying to educate these, bring education to people that don't have it, that don't know any better, because they have regressed because of the nuclear apocalypse. Caesar was one of them, left, and went and quickly discovered that these people will look at you like you're performing fucking magic just because you know how to turn local plants into medicine. So when he founded the Legion, he made it a rule. He outlawed many things like alcohol, but most notably, he outlawed high learning and high science. Spear chuckers, well, that's a thing in the game. In fact, one of your pre-order DLC weapons is a set of throwing spears. Congratulations. There's that. I can't even say that there's the joke. It's not even a joke. It's an actual thing in the fucking game. It's a thing the Legion does as well. They throw spears at you. So that's where I was. My head was. Well, someone else's head immediately went, "Holy shit, black people," and had to correct me on my speech. And I'm just like, dude, I'm not being racist. I didn't mean it in a racist way. Why are black people the first thing you think of? Hey, I don't care. You're being racist. You need to stop that. And I was like, you know what? Fuck you. I don't care. And I just, from that point on, I don't even think I talked in the forum in the Discord in a Discord server at all since then. If I did, it was maybe one or two posts about the game. About the mod that the big mod that Discord servers for Fallout New Vegas. Let's see. I joined. This actually is kind of important. I joined. I'm in 2 Stalker servers, and one's an offshoot from the first one. It was an offshoot made by someone I considered a decent enough friend. We knew each other for a couple of years. We bonded over our mutual love of autistic stalker mods. One little problem. This guy turned out he really enjoyed manufacturing drama wherever he went. So much so that he ended up on some shit lists. He would manufacture drama in a community, cry the victim, and when people didn't buy it, he would fuck off. He was also a gay twink that liked to suck dick and wear skirts from California, and very dominantly left-leaning politically. No shocker there. And because he was a gay twink that liked to suck dicks and wear skirts, he decided one day, I'm transgender and people need to respect this about me. No, you're just a gay dude that likes to suck dick and wear skirts. Out of respect for him, though, his friends, if I remember right, I try not to even bring up the topic of transgender people in his stalker community, and most of the time, and yeah, I think I said a few off the cuff things, but most of the time, he would just find reasons to bitch me out. It got annoying. It was like you're not posting in the right channel, you're posting about the wrong thing in the wrong channel, shit like that. It got to the point where moderators in his server were telling him, dude, maybe you should like slow down, maybe you should lay off him a bit. And he would bitch at them, do not defend him. Stay out of this. At one point, one of the moderators was like, you really need to stop like trying to police where every single message in this server should go, because you're just gonna kill conversation. He would literally go, I'd rather have a dead server than a disorganized one. And it was literally like Gestapo shit. Policing, not really what we said, but more like what I said, more like where I said it. Oh, you're talking about Stalker in the general chat, take that to the Stalker channel. Oh, you're talking about a mods for Stalker now, take that to the Stalker mod general channel. Oh, you're talking about this specific Stalker mod, we have a sub channel for it, take it to that channel. Oh, now you're talking about general stuff, take that to general channel. He would ride my ass about this shit. It was one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my time on Discord. Again, to the point that the modders were telling maybe you should just knock it off a bit. And then one day I find out that he has this private channel that's just for him and his mods, and he's bitching that I'm being transphobic in it. He's bitching that I'm starting drama. I said my piece and fucked off. I came back to the server later. He was no longer around. He chose to leave the community, and now I think it's a better place for it, honestly. I'll be real. But, but without getting too off track, it got to the point where I started getting sick of his badgering. I would tell him, dude, I know you're the admin here, I know you're in charge, but for fuck's sake, leave me alone. Stop ragging on me every fucking day. Just fuck off. And he would legit try to do gaslighting. Like, he would try to claim that I'm pretending to be the victim and make him the bad guy. It's like, no, dude, I'm not pretending shit. You are literally the bad guy here. You are literally coming after me on a daily over nothing and making mountains out of molehills and being mad at me over every little thing. You are strictly and specifically targeting me. This is at this point, I could even say this is technically harassment and bullying. I'm doing nothing to make you look bad. You're doing all of that yourself. It was so aggravating. I left the community, and some months later, a guy I used to talk to that was in that community DMs me. He's like, hey, by the way, I just want to let you know you weren't being schizo, because he was definitely targeting you, because after you left, he started targeting me the exact same way. And I'm like, oh, good to know. It was literally just a matter of he wanted a punching bag to make himself feel better or some shit. And couldn't take it when the punching bag punched back. And had to whine and cry wolf every time. And now that his favorite punching bag ain't around, he has to find a new one. Which made me realize we were never friends. We were just two people with a single mutual hobby. And he decided, oh, I'm just going to use this guy. Let's see. But the point of even mentioning all this is, again, California, left-leaning. I'll explain this in a bit. But keeping in track with that friend I mentioned earlier who wanted to be a professional streamer, also longtime Californian, Mexican, but American born and raised. Again, there's a point to this. Well, we were close enough friends, I thought, and then he had a friend who was incredibly left-leaning. Mr. Neo-Nazi, I'll call him. Because that was one of his favorite words. He basically insisted I was a neo-Nazi because I said a couple of off-the-cuff things. Nothing too bad, nothing too insane. And suddenly I'm a neo-Nazi, a racist, a hardcore fucking white supremacist. He even literally told me these things. He unblocked me long enough to tell me this and then block me again. Like, I think you're a neo-Nazi, white supremacist, racist, right-wing asshole, sociopath. I want nothing to do with you. Leave me alone. But the thing is, my friend, my close friend, he actually sided with this guy. Every time I had a problem, I was the bad guy. Every time I voiced a concern, I was the bad guy. It was my fault somehow. I need to change things about myself. I need to be a certain way. I was sick of it. I remember one of our last conversations together, I admitted to my old friend, that the shit he and this other guy have given me in his community server, I've said worse stuff than I've been more free with my speech and opinions and said potentially by their standards worse things in other servers and other communities, and gotten way less flack than I did in his community server from him and Mr. Neo-Nazi. And the takeaway, and what I was trying to get across to him was, I have to walk on fucking eggshells around you, dude, because of how sensitive the two of you are. It's unreal. Well, the takeaway he got from it instead was, so that tells me that you're even worse in other communities, and I'm not cool with it. I tried to explain my side of things, help him understand how I felt. Actually open up about my feelings for once and not be a typical guy. And his response, and I had him in a voice call for this, just mano a mano, and his response, he starts screaming at me, "I'm so fucking sorry we made you feel that way." But the kicker of all of it, cherry on top, is he starts yelling at me, "How do you think you make me look, huh? How do you think you reflect on me?" And that told me immediately, he didn't see me as a friend. He probably never saw me as a friend. For a while now. For a while by that point. He just saw me as something to use. A statistic. He cared more about his image as a streamer than our friendship. He cared more about how I potentially made him look. And I would go on to find out I wasn't the only one. He would distance himself from other people for the most minor of things, because he got bad vibes from them or felt uncomfortable around them, and they made him look bad as a streamer in his eyes or something. I genuinely hope he's successful in that. Well, I hope he's successful in whatever job he's working, but last I know, last I'm aware, he never became successful as a streamer. But again, left-leaning, California, again, this is important. I pick up activity in another server. Turns out Mr. Neo-Nazi is there, so is my old friend. But what's more interesting to me is Mr. Neo-Nazi is close friends with the moderator there, who's in turn rather close with the admin. You can guess how this went. Moderator decides, I'm gonna pretend you don't exist. I'm not gonna answer any of your questions. I'm going to be passive-aggressive while refusing to directly interact with you. Constantly fucks with my posts in the porn channel. There was a porn channel I would post. This is gonna sound schizo. This is the dumbest shit ever. I would post in the porn channel. Piece of hentai, a hentai image or something. Post in the porn show. Didn't matter what time of day. Didn't matter if he was on his phone, on his computer, whatever, what have you. Within minutes, he would be online, and he would bump my post up with a couple of his own. Bump my post up out of view. You'd have to scroll to see it. At first, I noticed the consistent pattern and thought, you're being fucking crazy. You are being Mr. Tinfoil Hatman here. This is the dumbest shit you could even possibly think is real. There's no one so... You don't even know this guy. You don't even know this person. You've never talked to him. There's no way that this dude is so petty, that someone could exist that's so petty, that just because a friend of his calls you a neo-Nazi and doesn't like you over literally nothing. There's no way someone could be so petty that for that reason alone he would do this kind of shit. Well, I'd go on to find out, no. Not only was he that petty, he was doing it to a friend of mine who was also in the server who he also didn't like. Whenever we'd post something, and we started like corroborating whatever our stories together, what was going on both sides, and through this we both found out, we were basically talking to each other when like, Oh shit! So he's doing something to you? Yeah. Oh shit! He's doing something to you? Oh fuck! I guess we both. I guess we're both not being schizo. I guess it's actually fucking happening. And then one day I posted maybe 30 or 40 hentai images one morning, cleaning my downloads folder out. Fucked off for several hours. Came back, got on my computer. Somebody's in that porn channel talking about a specific artist that I know about. And I'm like, yeah, I love. I joined the conversation. Yeah, I love that person's art. Bam, channel's put into slow mode. I am so fucking confused, but I instantly know it's the moderator that hates my fucking guts for some reason. Before I can even try to figure anything out, the admin comes in. Alright, new rule, you need to use the batch function on Discord. And my friend who's also in the server says that's silly. That's it, just those two words. Now, just like with that guy I mentioned from that old BBS forum from when I was a wee child, this is a man who's probably older than me, who probably has a full-time job, takes care of his family, I would assume. Total fucking power tripping ass, egotistical asshole on the internet. Just because my friend goes, that's silly, those two words, he's like, oh yeah, well watch this. Bans him and blocks him, but as if my friend's still there and he's still talking to him, goes, now you don't have to worry about anything ever again. And I'm just sitting here watching this, I'm fucking floored. I'm like, is this how you're gonna act in an online space? Fucking really? Is this how you're gonna act? As the admin of this server? As the head of this community? And I had to explain to him, dude, because this is like a couple computers ago. I had to explain to this guy, look, I want you to watch something, okay? And I want you to watch me closely. I upload some images using the batch function. Discord crashes. I come back online. I'm like, did you say I did you see me go online, offline, and back online? Yeah, that's me crashing, trying to use the batch function. Your rule literally would prevent me from posting in this channel. So I just decided, fuck it, I'll just post an image once in a while. Very next day, I post some art of Rebecca from Cyberpunk Edgerunners. First and only time the moderator just ordains to grace me with his presence. He deletes my post and tells me don't post lolly. I am so fucking lost here. I am so fucking confused. For starters, it's fictional they're fictional characters anyway, who the fuck cares? I'm not exactly into that kind of shit, but they're fictional characters. I care more about what happens to real people than a bunch of fucking drawings, okay? But I'm so confused, because as far as I was aware, and as far as I was concerned, this wasn't a lolly, this wasn't a child, this wasn't even a teenager, this was a woman. A short, angry woman. If anything I could attribute Rebecca from Cyberpunk Edgerunners to, it would be, this is like the short, angry Latina woman you get with. The sex is fucking amazing, but you be real careful around her, because one wrong thing out of your mouth, and she'll literally shoot you in one of your ass cheeks. That's the kind of shit I got. The kind of angry woman, angry short woman. So instead of arguing with the moderator, because I knew any kind of clapback would result in arguing or bitching, so I go to the admin, and for some reason the admin thinks I'm trying to talk about my friend being banned. And he immediately goes off me. Your friend's been talking all kinds of shit and starting arguments left and right, and I had to ban him. And I'm just like, dude, whoa, I'm not even here to talk about that. And this is setting aside, like, in my head I'm thinking, I've barely seen my friend post in your server this entire past month I've been active in it. What the fuck are you talking about? You are actually lying to me. But no, I asked him about the porn thing. And again, he's lying to me. He's like, oh yeah, a bunch of people came to me bitching that and complaining about you posting too much into porn shit. I'm like, what? Yeah, you're flooding it with porn. Yeah, you're flooding. I'm like, I'm flooding the dumping ground for porn with porn. Yeah. And people don't like that. I'm like, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. It's amazing you can type that shit to me with a straight fucking face. But I let it go and tell him, no, I want to talk about the Rebecca thing. want to talk about the Rebecca thing. And he's like, oh yeah, she's a lolly. What? Why? Well, because Studio Trigger put out a tweet referring to her as a lolly like once, so she is canonically a lolly now. I'm just like, the fuck? That's not how that works. Well, that's how it works here, so I'm like, okay, whatever. Also, I didn't know this was a discourse, people considering Rebecca a lolly. Here's a fun fact. I'm in a server that strictly doesn't allow lolly and shota hentai. And the admin there is a well-rounded, normal fucking, I would say somewhat normal fucking individual who works his job and, you know, comes home to relax every day, and he doesn't consider her lolly. She is fair game. He's even posted her. It is like some loud minority on the internet, I guess, that thinks she is a lolly, and therefore you are a child predator for being sexually attracted to the short angry woman, I guess. I don't know. But I don't want to rock the boat. So I say to the moderator, okay, look, I don't agree with you on a personal level that she's a lolly, but I won't post her again. Okay? And that should have been the end of that. No, this guy has to go off me. Oh, I don't give a fuck what you think. Your friend got banned yesterday. Do you want to be next, motherfucker? And I'm just like, okay. Okay. Mask of politeness. Just mask off. Politeness gone. I'm going to be real with you, man. Why are you being a cunt to me? Why? Like, I just decided this could get me banned, but I'm going to say it anyway. Why are you being a cunt to me? I have done nothing to you. I don't even know you. For fuck's sake, I'm on your side here, saying I'm not going to rock the boat. Why are you being an unbridled dick to me? And he backpedals, because we're doing this in a public space where everyone in the community can see, he's like backpedaling. He's like, oh, well, no, I'm not being a dick to you, I'm just making sure you know what the rules are. Yeah, sure, buddy. I fucking left. I chewed the admin out. I fucking left that night. I was so sick of it. Because I knew no hoop I jumped through would be good enough. Nothing I did would be good enough. These people made up their mind all because of a link of nepotism. All because of a link of nepotism. Like I said, sorry, had to call there for a minute. All because a guy who doesn't like me because I said a couple of things he didn't like, and he's so far left, he has to call me a fucking neo-Nazi for some reason. Is friends with a moderator who I would assume shares the same opinions, who is friends with the admin who either doesn't care at all and just sides with the moderator for the sake of it. And a couple of funny things. This server, despite the whole big thing about lolly, it allowed shota. In fact, the moderator in question was a huge, I believe, if I remember right, was a huge shota fan. And that's why shota was allowed. Meanwhile, years later, after the fact, a friend of mine who's still in that server, I talk with him. I talk with him regularly. I talked with him somewhat recently, and I asked him, like, I want to ask, just out of curiosity, because it popped in my head just now. I want to ask, how's that shit even going with the server? Like the whole batch function thing, no posting Rebecca because she's all. He's like, oh no, none of that's been enforced at all. Like the batch function hasn't been enforced at all. The none of that shit's been enforced. I was just there to fuck with you while you were still in the server. Like, yeah, I know full well, but it's nice hearing some confirmation from someone that's actually stuck around there. It's fucking loony. Now, there's a point to everything I've been saying. All of this going down my memory lane of my personal interactions with communities, with people. It's an American thing. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm one of the first people to see going, America, fuck yeah, USA, USA, USA. But you ever see that picture of the guy waving the American flag and the hurricane? That's me. Like, not literally, but basically, that's me. But I've come to understand over the years, it's a culture thing. The guy I mentioned earlier, I already mentioned this. He was my old friend. There was a reason I mentioned him, that he's Mexican, but he's American. He's pretty much largely American born and raised. I'm friends with a really far left guy who's Korean American, but again, American born and raised. Your origins, your ethnicity, race, whatever, doesn't fucking matter. America's cultures, or parts of it at least, are like a poison that influences, especially the younger generations. Nowadays, especially the younger generations. And they grow up to be so overly sensitive. And how do I know this? Because every time this fucking happens, every time I interact with people and get this kind of result, it's an American. I have several friends who are American who don't give a shit about this stuff, and I'm sure these people would call these friends of mine, racists or race traitors or whatever. I got a black friend who I could walk up to him and say, "What's up, my N-word?" and he'd say, "What's up, my cracker?" and we'd both just shoot the shit about anime and video games. They don't care, but at the same time, because they don't care, because they're not so overly sensitive, a lot of the people I've been talking about would look at them and be like, you're a traitor to your race, you're a neo-Nazi, blah, blah. Meanwhile, I have a bunch of friends from all over the world. I got friends in Mexico, France, Poland, Finland, UK, Russia, Germany. I think I got someone that lives close to China, but not in China. I don't know about that one. I got friends all over the fucking world. None of them give a shit. I remember one of my friends is from Brazil. And I remember talking to him once. And he'll talk about what's going on in his country. And I find it fascinating to learn what's going on in his country. And I forget what it was, though, but he was talking about, like, some potential coup or some dictator. It was some really bad shit. And I say to him, like, dude, dude, I'm sorry that you're going through that shit. His response to me is legit, oh, I don't care, I don't give a fuck. Why? Because he just wants to sit there and live his life and enjoy his hobbies, play his strategy games. He doesn't care. Because he would rather focus on enjoying his life. I think now this one's fun. This one's fascinating to me, but I feel like it is warranted being involved here, being put here. This is a degree of separation, though. A friend of mine has a friend he chats with on the internet that I guess he's known for a while, who is from Ukraine. And he told me stories about this guy. This guy's still alive, by the way, I believe. But he told me stories about this guy. How this guy would talk to him and be like, "Oh no, yeah, I think there's been bombings in parts of the city. There's been some serious shit going on." And he'd be like, "Dude, you should get somewhere safe. I think you should get somewhere safe." Like, no, it's fine. I'm just gonna sit here and keep playing my video games. Literally, if you've ever seen that shit post of like a nuke going off outside and the light coming in, and the guy's at his computer, he's like, "Oh, it's so bright," and he goes over and just shuts the curtains, and he goes back to his desk. That's the kind of shit but in real life, that this guy was basically doing. Oh shit, part of the city's being bombed, but not where I live, so I'm fine. I'll just keep playing my video games. Another story he told me was this guy went out into the woods near the city once, and found a Russian tank. Still had, apparently, I think he said it still had ammunition in it, but notably it still had gas in it. It was literally just the Russians abandoned this tank out in the woods. And So this guy told his dad about it. And what does his dad do? He's like, show me where the tank is, son. And they literally like spent a whole day father-son bonding, rampaging in the wood through the woods in a fucking tank. Took pictures and videos of it, sent it to my friend, and he was like, he told me like, yeah, this shit's fucking crazy. These people are just, they're basically in a fucking war zone, and they're just having the time of their lives. It's a race thing. No, I'm sorry, not race thing. I meant to say a culture thing. It's every other person. I think maybe with the exception of Canadians. I've never seen a foreigner, be overly sensitive and I've seen foreigners be hyper racist in some cases. Like, if you insult them, they will say everything under the sun to you. But like, I've never seen them balk at it. Is the thing. I've never seen them balk at the words we would say. Whenever I see someone being so, holy shit, you can't say that around me, I'm literally shaking. It's a fucking American. It's an American that's been infected by bitchness within our culture. Every time I have a problem with someone online, it's a fucking American. I'm in a server. One of the servers I'm in is entirely Russian, pretty much, because it's for Russian video games, and I never post there. Because mainly out of respect, because it's again just people talking in Russian. I just lurk, because I like video games. I like seeing what's going on in other parts in the gaming scene in other parts of the world sometimes. Well, the reason I bring this particular server up is one day a scammer, bot, whatever it was, comes in doing the usual thing, spamming a link with a global ping in every fucking channel. And before the spammer, bot, whatever got banned, I noticed a lot of bitching at him out in Russian. But then some of them started speaking English, and they were literally saying stuff like, fuck off, N-word, go fuck yourself. They had no fucking qualms about saying this shit, and it was almost like a breath of fresh air. When it comes down to it, it's not even about slurs or anything, about like being able to say everything you want. It's about the fact that I get policed on the most simplest shit, on the way I act, on the way I talk. Oh, people are so uncomfortable around me because I say the word retard, because I say something's gay, because I think it's stupid or lame. One of the VTubers I've been paying a bit more attention to that I mentioned her, I think, last month, Smugalana. She even says retard all the time, and it's actually refreshing. When I first found her, the moment I started hearing her say it, I'm like, holy shit, someone that's like not afraid to say it. Like, I've seen people even censor themselves, though this is another topic entirely, because if they don't, YouTube takes money away or some shit. I don't know, because like I remember, like one of my favorites recently is Rev Says Desu, and I think it's kind of funny the way he does it. I usually don't like people self-censoring, but I think it's funny the way he does it. He'll be like in one of his recent videos, he quotes somebody else and says the word whore, and instead he says schmore. Whenever he says retard, he says regard, and then I find out when he actually uses the word properly, like in a sentence, that turns out that's actually how he apparently says regard. He says regard. I just thought it was really funny. I thought the way he censored himself was kind of creative. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I found American. I found. Oh yeah, one of the. Speaking of, I'm in. I did find. It's not like I can't find a place for myself. I did find a few places, a few communities, but two of the communities I'm in notably that I'm okay in, where I don't get this kind of bullshit. Again, it's like half or more of the population of the server isn't even in fucking America. And one community I'm in is the one that has everything. What I just said, people from all over the world: Mexico, France, Germany, Russia, etc. And another server I'm in, there's a lot of people from all kinds of countries as well, including I think the server owner is from Lithuania. So like it's literally just find yourself some foreign friends that can speak English. It kind of goes all the way back too. I mentioned this earlier. When I was a teenager, I had a friend from Hungary who was also a huge hentai visual novel enthusiast, and we could just we could talk about that shit. We would talk about Commodore Alchemy Meister and other shit, and we loved talking to each other about that stuff. It's like foreigners are less prudish, foreigners are less sensitive. It feels like it's my people. It feels like it's an American thing. And I just, here lately, I've been so confused by this. Like, how did we get like this? Where did we go wrong? That it's Americans and I guess Canadians maybe who are like this. Who tend to be like this. It's crazy. And I almost wrapped it up there, but I almost forgot there was something else I wanted to mention. A couple of things. It's particularly like content creator communities too, as well. I feel like if you're in a content creators community, there's a good chance you're gonna see some shit. I remember I was in the server's long gone, but I was in a community for some YouTuber way back. He was big. He had a pretty big audience. He had a pretty sizable community. He had a Discord server. I remember this server, and this is another thing I wanted to talk to you about. Never do this. Never fucking do this. If someone tries to ask you for this, tell them to go fuck themselves. This particular server carded you because it allowed everyone in, including underage people. All channels were closely monitored. You had, if you were an adult, you couldn't be in the underage allowed channels, saying certain shit, or you'd get warned. But if you wanted to be in the adult channels, where you could freely speak, you had to show your ID. So I thought of something. See, the people in charge of this server were the YouTuber and a bunch of his co-hosts that would get on his streams with him. Well, one of these co-hosts was a seemingly nice woman. So I contacted her, and I'm like, okay, look, is it okay if I just crop the birthday of my ID and show you? And she said, yeah. So I found a random ID online with a good enough date, and I cropped the ID and I showed it to her. Immediately got into the adult sections. Why the fuck do I have to prove I'm an adult to some stranger on the internet? Kiss my ass. Well, these adult sections, porn section in particular, this is partly a bit of personal bitching on my part. I go into I've seen servers with organized porn channels. This one just had a single catch-all channel, and it was nothing but dicks. I mean, it was like literally, it was either gay porn or she-males. Like, MTF, transgenders and she-males and shit. Chicks with breasts and slender bodies, but they have dicks. They got dicks. Was it from was that line from Clerks that I really love? I think I even got like a video clip of it. It's like, you're missing, alright, but you're missing out, man. Chicks with dicks. It was all schlong all the time when I would go into the porn channel. It was either gay porn or it was she-males on dudes. Or dudes on she-males. And yet, whenever someone posted hentai, it was like hyper scrutinized. They had like a whole squad of dudes in this server that would you ever heard people make that argument about like, oh, she looks like a lolly but she's like 10,000 years old? Well, these people took this shit a step further. Well, or rather I should say people who put that argument forth of like, not the people who say that. Let me rewind a bit. You ever seen people say, like, that's not an acceptable excuse, you know, she looks like a lot, but she's really 10,000 years old. You ever see people say that? Well, these people took it a step further. They went, if she is canonically below 18, then it's literally no different from child porn. I would like to remind you just how the Japanese design their characters real quick. Go look at Yoko from Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. If I remember correctly, she is canonically 14 when the two main characters first meet her. Go look at Jotaro Kujo. He's like 16 or 17 years old. In fact, go look at any male student in JoJo that is a main character. That is canonically under the age of 18, but is a main character. I think I remember seeing somebody. It was like I think it might have been like a stream by the guy that runs Kiwi Farms of all things. I think I watched a stream of his like years ago. It was like he decided I'm gonna do this like end all be all litmus test kind of thing. Shows a bunch of different anime characters and decides if it's lolly or not. And he gets to Jotaro Kujo. He's like, now look at this. This is Jotaro Kujo. If you are sexually attracted to this, you are not a pedophile, but you are gay. It's just the way the Japanese make their fucking characters sometimes. But canonical age was all that mattered. Canonical age, and if she actually looked like a little girl. They didn't let the 10,000-year-old thing fly. But any hentai post was under so much scrutiny. And there's like a whole team of people in this server. And the moment you posted hentai, you'd have somebody up your ass if it was a character below the age of 18. And I think I remember posting art of a character, Mina Ashido from My Hero Academia. And immediately got someone on my ass. That's underage. It's fucking lolly. And I'm just like, okay, I'll delete it. But she looks old enough in this art, man. And dude's like, I bet that's what you say when you to the campus police and you're caught prowling on the local high school girls. And I'm just, it was so disgusting in this server. It was so fucking disgusting. I'm literally just gonna say it. It was dudes that wanted to fuck dudes, but the moment hentai got posted, it was like the ick to them. It was so weird. And then I find out that, and then the server gets fucking deleted. And then I find out later on that apparently there was some real degenerate shit happening behind closed doors in the private channels that the YouTuber and his personal friends would use. You know what's interesting? I actually have found I'm in 3 different VTubers community servers that I joined within the last maybe year, and I've seen them all handle things differently. In one, it's not even a community server anymore. recently I got a global ping in it, and the YouTuber in question, who runs a Fansly, nothing wrong with that, and there's a bit of, I would even dare say there's maybe a little bit of parasocial shit in there. But she decided recently, made a global ping about this. I don't feel like I can handle running a community anymore, so this is an announcement server now. It's literally just announcement channels now for you to get pings for when she's streaming. And yeah, she runs Fansly, but then I double checked her content out of curiosity because I haven't watched her lately. It's like, oh, she still does play video games. She played Subnautica recently. I love Subnautica. I want to check her out. I want to watch her play Subnautica. Fuck yeah. But it's like, she's like, I can't really handle, I have shit going on in my personal life. I can't really handle managing a community, so I'm just not going to. Another one just has a very bare bones server, the basic channels, and of course the typical rule of don't directly ping or message me or I will ban you. I don't want you to get parasocial with me. This is just a community server for fans of my content. Fair and understandable. Third one of the biggest yet most organized clusterfucks I've ever seen. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's a reaction, it's a VTuber that does reactions. And there are, like, you go to the anime reaction channel, and there's like an individual thread for every single fucking anime she's ever done reactions for. There's so many threads in this server, there's so many channels in this server. It's organized, it's just a lot. Also, for that second one I mentioned, the one that's like a very basic server, there's like a very hardline no politics rule. Well, apparently, in this third server, there's containment channels for this. One of these is, I think it's still around, is called the Streamer Drama Thunderdome. And I was curious enough to join that channel. I was wondering what it was, and first thing I see is somebody asking a moderator, so you're not allowed to like do hate speech, you're not allowed to do like personal attacks, but can I speak freely about a streamer I don't like in this channel, or is that against the rules? And the moderator's like, as long as you're not doing doxing them or making calls to violence, go ahead. Dude starts popping off immediately, man, fuck that Nazi cunt. KKK Kirsch. I'm not kidding. He would go into this multiple times. He would insist on spelling her name with 3 Ks. Fuck that Nazi cunt KKK Kirsch. I fucking hate her. She is such a piece of shit MAGA bitch. And I'm just like, whoa. I used to watch Kirsch. I don't really watch her anymore. I just kind of fell off of it. Not like I don't have any interest anymore. But what's so bad about her lately? Like, what'd she do? She's a fucking Nazi cunt. She celebrates ICE killing people, and I'm just like, okay. Let's slow down. I want you to actually tell me what the fuck the problem is. Like, do you have proof of this? And he posts a tweet of hers, like, see, and I'm like, that situation's a whole other topic, but it's like, she's not saying anything too insane here. Like, she really isn't. I don't get the hate. And the guy, it's like the guy was trying to convince me that Kirsch was a neo-Nazi. So he posts this like Reddit link to some mega thread some dude made, full of statements with hyperlinks in them about the different things Kirsch has said over the years that proves, without a doubt, she is a fucking Nazi. And most of these things are like very basic talking points, very basic opinions. It's like, these aren't things I would call someone a neo-Nazi for thinking. But one particular thing stuck out, and it was very interesting. The claim, because these are claims, like, these are sentences with hyperlinks in it. The claim was, Kirsch, to paraphrase it from vague memory, it was something like, Kirsch begs ICE to sweep through the area and cleanse it of illegals. And I click the hyperlink and go to the actual quote-unquote proof for this. And the proof for this is a tweet or something where Kirsch states that this particular area is so crime-ridden that she witnessed her first murder by gun in person, in the flesh, here, in this area. And it wasn't begging ICE, it was more or less making a statement that if ICE did come through there and sweep the place and got rid of the illegals in the area, it would probably be a ghost town and then could rebuild. Which is more or less, to me at least, the way I see it, that's a statement of just how many illegals are in the area and how much crime is in the area as a result of them. But it was the murder by gun that was notable. You're gonna look at this tweet. I'm sorry if I'm getting a bit hot under the collar about this, but I think it's really fucked up. You're gonna look at a tweet like that, and you're gonna completely disregard that part and say she's a fucking Nazi. She wants ICE to go through and just get rid of all the illegals, but you're gonna conveniently ignore the part where she talks about witnessing somebody murdered with a gun right in front of her. I'm sorry, but I've been called a sociopath for saying very basic things, but that's fucking sociopathic bullshit right there. Or psychopathic. I don't even know what to call it. That's fucked up. That's inhuman. You're disregarding her humanity, her feelings, whatever she felt in the moment, seeing a person get murdered right in front of her with a gun. Because you want to hard focus on this other thing, so you can call her a Nazi and feel better about yourself. And I tried to like talk casually with this person, and he was just going on and on and on. And then there was another dude doing the same exact shit. And after a few days of on and off like visiting this channel, I came to realize something. This is a containment chamber. This is a containment channel for these kinds of people. So that they, rather than tell them they can't say this shit in the server at all, this is a containment channel to keep these people corralled in so they can just scream into the void about how every little thing that pisses them off is upsetting them so fucking badly, when none of this shit affects their personal lives. None of it affects them. It's crazy. I think I ended up making a statement of like, dude, okay, this is like just a dumping ground at this point for you and this other guy to just be so infinitely mad at everything. I don't think I'm going to engage with this channel anymore. And I clicked off the channel. I don't even know if anyone replied to me in that channel. I didn't give a shit. I clicked off of it. I kept it muted. I was done. It was just like so much unnecessary hate and anger to be around. I joined the channel out of vague curiosity because I was like, is there going to be people talking about like what's going on with certain streamers? No, it's just gonna be people bitching endlessly about absolutely nothing that really matters. That just people I just pissed them off by existing. I think my favorite thing was I ended up talking with a friend after this who knows more about Kirsch than I do, and his flat response to me was, "Holy shit! Yeah, no, it's really funny to me because Kirsch's mom is an actual neo-Nazi and she hates her for it." And I get really I laugh really hard whenever people call the chick from Boston who's had multiple black boyfriends a Nazi. So that's I don't know how true any of that is, but that was interesting, and I would say I trust that guy more than I trust any random people I don't even know on the internet. It's crazy. You just really shouldn't talk about politics. To be fair, I've seen reaction when people talk about it. I love Smugglon, I love Rev Says Desu, but it's crazy because it's like, I get the feeling that second channel I mentioned had it right. Maybe even the first channel had it right. I mean, not channel, server had it right. With either keeping it not a community server where people can post at all, or keeping it a simple one and being like, no politics, please no bullshit drama. Whenever you allow politics, and here's the crazy thing. I'm in a server run by a close friend of mine where the server allows politics to be talked about, and there are people who talk about political stuff there, but no one ultimately really fucking cares. Like, it never gets hyper political. The political talk never lasts forever. It's usually like a subject gets brought up, it's talked about a bit. The people there don't want to actively discuss politics at all times. But they know how to moderate themselves. They talk about politics occasionally, but not all the time. It doesn't consume them. But it seems like in a lot of places I go, people just let that consume them. Again, I feel like it's mostly Americans more than anyone. Maybe Canadians too. I've seen some Canadians get really, really easily riled up by American politics. I don't know. Anyway, one last thing I want to say is thank you, but also fuck you to the guy I was just talking about, because ever since I saw the way he spells Kirsch's name, I can't stop thinking about it in my head occasionally, like it's something a radio DJ would say. And coming at you with another hot topic, it's Kirsch. It's living rent free in my head, and it makes me giggle every time I think about it. It's the best. Anyway, keep yourself safe, guys. That's it for this month's rant.